last video, I did a crash course on the subject matter of deities and goddesses. I also gave a crash course on roots and magic. Roots and magic are two different things, and I wanted to elaborate on that subject matter in this video. For starters, root working uses things that grow from the earth, plants. Root working also uses soil, water. You can use elements like fire and crystals and things like that. And you can even use the seasons, because that's a part of the world and it's a part of the changes that happen within nature. You use the time of day and time of night. And in root work, you can also use moon cycles. We see all of these things when people are working with nature, using the energies from nature for a result. And then we have magic. Magic is used in a way to draw out a result, but it is using things outside of nature. And outside of nature is celestial, spiritual. So with magic, you use your inner chi. You use the energy of spirits and deities, all right, to draw a result. In most cases, most of us do not need magic. Most of what we face every day can be resolved through using the world around us to get what it is that we need and the things that we want. I will explain now why there is so much power in nature and so much power in knowing how to use nature for whatever results that you're seeking, good or bad. In the physical world, we have what you call matter, and matter consists of atoms. Atoms create these covalent bonds, some so strong that causes things to be solid and hard. And these bonds, of course, deteriorate over time, which causes things to decompose and to separate. Now, with that being known, we have to understand that atoms, how they form these bonds, there's a certain amount of energy. So that means in this material world, everything has a magnetic field, including the human body. This knowledge is well known. If you are into science, this is proven that the human body, each organ, each part of the body reads at a different frequency, but there is a sum total, as far as hertz is concerned, of a frequency that the human body reads. And it can range from one end to the other, but for an individual, it is different. I think that it is pretty amazing when we think of the grand scheme of things, that even the earth has its own magnetic field. And interesting enough, everything in our solar system has its own magnetic field. It has its own core, and even every star. And that same trickles down to you as an individual and as a person. So we have energy. We are electrical beings, and in science teaches us we are mostly chemistry. We're mostly chemical. Well, in order for chemicals to even exist or to even interfere, let's say respond to one another, there is energy. It uses energy. So instead of just saying, oh, we're just a bunch of chemical bags walking around, understand that we are electrical being. We are magnetic beings. So our bodies respond to what we eat. It responds to the time of day. It responds to certain events that may transpire, movements. We understood this before the great fall of humanity, which is the state that we're in now. But we have been tricked into believing that we are more civilized, like civilization has somehow grown, when really we have devolved. And at some point in time, we understood as humans the forces around us and the forces within, which then helped us understand that eating a certain food or combining two of these herbs or using this soil and drawing this sigil or, all of these things draw in certain energies and changes the magnetic field around us. And in doing so, you get a response. You get a result. And when you practice enough with energy manipulation, you start to understand exactly what goes with what, and you master it. And this knowledge was passed down from generation to generation and learned by our great foremothers and forefathers. Before it was made evil, it was simply a way of life. Before the dawn of the religions of Abraham, root working was a way of life. It was not the taboo and like crazy, spooky way of what life or practice that people make it now. And it's still some, spookiness, and it's still some mystery, which was pretty much a part of our daily lives. And we could actually say it was scientific. It was technology. Okay. And, it was as simple as some of the things that we do today. When you get sick, you go see a doctor, and the doctor prescribes you medicine that was made in a laboratory by materials that was found in nature, okay? And then also materials that was man-made to correspond with the natural things that they found in nature to get a result of whatever it is that they're trying to resolve, whether it's your high blood pressure or high insulin. But that's not frowned upon because even your biggest Christians go to see a doctor. But if you try to say anything about herbal or working the roots using your natural magnetic field and all of that, they will say that it's evil and it's crazy and it's spooky and it's wrong. But then because the doctor doesn't use that type of language, in fact, the doctor tries to manipulate your force field in your body with drugs that have a combination of nature and man-made, and you're totally fine with that, but you're spooked out with nature itself. And I think that if we're going to talk about spells and magic, I think that's the greatest spell of all, is convincing us that there's something spooky and something odd about using yourself and the world around you to harness power and to yield it for a response and a result that you're seeking, whether it's for your health or wealth. But wealth, in so many aspects now, is also man-made, but that's a different video. I hope so many of you understand.